Sandler submarine has helped me make millions of dollars. What are some things you could do on annual review? Holding money for a rainy day, it's not going to do you any good. Step-laddering annuities. Who's ever done that? Anybody step-laddered annuities? Yeah?
Oh, you do it by term.
Yeah.
Just like laddering bonds, same deal.
Yeah. Mary, how much have you written with us in the last 2 months? $1 million in 2 months? Yeah? Mr. Shaw, how much have you written?
In 2 months?
Yeah, whenever.
400.
400? Derlin, 250? Let's see. I mean,
But I've been holding out.
yeah, that's fine. Mark?
I haven't.
But I will?
Yeah, oh, yeah, I got it.
But I will?
Appointment's on Monday already.
Yes, sir. Boom. Thank you. So it's all about how you sell these fixed index annuities. A lot of producers will call their marketing company, and the marketing company will say, here's a 10-year term. Sell it. It's the best thing. Or you'll review and say, here, this 10-year term is the best one I've seen. How many of you have sold 12-year terms? 18-year terms, I have. Yeah. I mean, if a client wants income, I've done, we start income pretty quick. I've done 18. I've done it. So I'm never going to make another commission on that money. That's a one lump sum forever money. That money's going to be with the carrier forever. I'm not going to make any more money on it. So what I always suggest when it comes to selling fixed index annuities, if it's $100,000 or more, 100,000 or more, I love using the stepladder technique. I take the 100,000 and I divide it into 4 carriers, 4 products. It's more app writing, yes.
Yeah.
I take 25,000, I put it into a 3-year annuity. 25,000 into a 5-year annuity. 25,000 into a 7-year annuity. 25,000 into a 10-year annuity. Now, if it's on $1 million, 250 all the way down. And what I've done is with the customer, I've said, I have diversified your portfolio. I have diversified, we're using a 3, 5, 7, and 10-year term. Now, what does that do for the customer?
You make sure
Shows
you
you know what
see
you're
it
doing.
3 years.
Yeah, yes,
You have a plan.
you have a plan. What that does for a customer, it doesn't leave them at the mercy of one carrier for renewal rate history. Imagine for 10 years having to deal with a customer that the cap rates were at 1% every year for 10 years, and you couldn't surrender the contract because of the big penalties. But if you use a 3, 5, 7, and 10-year term, what you're able to do is you're using 4 different carriers. You're able to say this 25,000, if you're doing annual reviews, is great. But at the end of that 3-year fixed annuity rate term, I'm able to sit back in front of the customer. I'm able to say, your 25,000 is now worth 29,000. And I say, do you need liquidity? Do you need this for any reason? If not, now let's roll this into a 10-year term. So now is when I bring in the 10-year term. The 5-year, I'm sitting back in front of the client, it comes due, that 25,000 is worth now, let's say 35, 40,000 if we're lucky. I sit back with the client, I say, you want liquidity? No, you don't need it? Let's roll it into a 10-year term. I may have given a bonus to the customer on the first 10-year term. I maybe have given a bonus on the second 10-year term. I've made another commission. I've provided the client a different product that has a different crediting method, different volatility control index, and I've made another commission. Now the 7-year comes due. I'm back in front of the client with the 25,000 where it's worth maybe 40,000, 45,000, and I'm able to provide liquidity to the client, or I'm able to roll that into another 10-year term and get a bonus. And then what I do with the 10-year bucket, same thing. And then I roll it into another 10-year term. But now what's coming due 3 years later? First bucket. And imagine doing step laddering of annuities on every annuity that you ever wrote. or some bond broker, this originally came up from bond brokers. You would never run out of customers. You would never have to worry about, think about it, $1 million split that way, you get to meet with just so many different customers. So you got to keep track of it, a lot of extra paperwork, but nobody's done step laddering of annuities. It's like a lost art here. I don't even hear it coming out of the mouth of anybody else. Yes, sir.
Another thing, Julian, also, which I do a lot, if you're dealing with a person's goal being the income side rather than the accumulation side, by splitting up contracts, as they approach retirement and then you have inflation, I tell them, if you have it all in one contract, you're going to have to put it all on at one time. Where if you do it piecemeal, you could put on what you need at that time and just turn that income on, and you got the other one still growing on roll-ups and what have you, and just keep going like that. As you need more money, you could turn on another contract rather than be forced to take it all in one contract. That, to me, doesn't provide flexibility for a client if you do that.
What you're saying right there is almost like a lost art. It really is.
That's all I do.
Yeah. What you're saying, it's not even used anymore. It's usually one lump sum, boom.
Why?
One lump sum, boom. Easy.
It's best to spread the risk.
Income.
It's best to spread the contracts because it gives them more flexibility. Isn't that what your job is?
It is. It is.
I mean, that's really what if you're an advisor and you want to call yourself an advisor, what are you advising? You could sell something. What's the big deal on that? What are you doing for the client, and
That's right.
what are you doing for his flexibility throughout the rest of his life? He's going to look at you and say, well, that's genius.
It is.
And it's not that difficult. It's a simple thing.
And step
Common
laddering.
sense.
Exactly. So step laddering annuities, I'm telling you, it's a lost art. And if you need a 3-year term, we like to use Global Atlantic. You need a 5-year term, Atlantic Coast. 7-year term, Fidelity and Guarantee or American Equity. 10-year term, National Western, that company that was here earlier. Spread it out. You don't have to use one carrier all the time. Subscribe to my YouTube channel today to help you get informative, up-to-date information on the annuity and life insurance industry. Thank you.